Vegetables are wonderful. They do not build up in the system. They're very healthy for you. But you must get protein. You must get protein. If you have to have protein, if you have to have animal protein, have it in the form of dairy products, not flesh foods. For this reason, I have said a few minutes ago that the food must be non-irritating. Now, flesh protein and dairy product protein have the same chemical composition. Yet, one is very irritating. Flesh foods are irritating. Why? Now, this is the point. Because only 70% of the flesh foods are usable by the body. What happens to the other 30%? It floats around in the bloodstream, undigested, as a toxin. That is very irritating to the system. But the dairy products, same protein, same chemical composition, but there's a difference there. There's an irritation there in the fresh foods. Now in the dairy products, 90% and more usable by the body. So there's not that waste floating around. Remember that. These are facts. That's why Sri Yukteswarji said the food must be non-irritating. But the strange fact is the chemical composition is the same, but the end result is entirely different. I had that illustrated in the World War. We used camphor, gum camphor, which came from Java. The supply was cut off, and DuPont made camphor. Same chemical composition exactly, because my druggist wrote and asked them. But in the system, the physiological action was entirely different. It was a less sclerotic instead of being a soothing agent. Same chemical composition. So, with protein, the flesh protein, the rate of vibration is different, even though the chemical composition is the same. And the result is irritating. I will not go into the causes, except to say that the vibration is different due to the fact that the animal's nervous system is highly developed, and when it is killed, there is a vibration that enters into the flesh food. So much for that. The food must be non-irritating. Now, going on just a bit to the physical cause of nervousness and worry and so forth, overstimulation. This is the worst thing. Overstimulation in eating, overstimulation in everything you do, overwork, mental overstimulation, overstimulation in sex. What happens? The nerves become irritated, sometimes burned out, because the life force does not flow in a smooth, harmonious way, but in a jerky way, irritating the nerves. And sometimes it'll be a big surge, as in anger, of life force, which burns the nerves out, can even cause death. So remember, overstimulation is one of the physical causes of restlessness. Overstimulation in any form, in food, in mental activity, or working. And watch the sex. Watch the sex. I will not go into that. It's a subject by itself. And so, the nerves become irritated, sometimes burned out. But never mind. Remember, it takes a long time to break the body resistance down. Nature is very good to us. We get away with it, so to speak, for quite a few years. Then suddenly we begin to get jittery. We can't seem to get over it. But be patient. Be patient. Remember, as it says in Daniel, this is a great thing to remember. In the 10th chapter, from the very moment you set your heart to stand and to chasten yourself before God, thy words were heard. So if you are restless, never mind. Start now to correct these things, the physical, the mental, and spiritual things. Do that, remembering that God knows what you're doing, and that with patience soon it will pass away. It will absolutely pass away when His great love comes into you. When you feel your oneness with God, restlessness and worry must leave. Now, the causes of restlessness and the mental side. That's an important thing. Why is it? I've said just a few words about the physical side. Now, how about the cause of restlessness on the mental side? What's it due to? What is the cause? The cause is simply this: uncontrolled thought processes. That's all. Uncontrolled thought processes. Instead of we running the mind runs us. That is not right. Instead of our thoughts being under the control of our will and our ego and the spiritual consciousness within us, those thoughts are running us. Uncontrolled thought processes. What happens? Nervousness. The mind is irritated. The nerves become irritated. And because of this irritation, they lay us open to the ingress of physical disease. Remember that. The amount of current flowing normally in your nervous system is the greatest antiseptic, the greatest power against disease that you have. That's an important thing. You remember that one thing. That unless the life force is flowing harmoniously in the nerves, the physical nerves, they become irritated. And likewise, in turn, they lay us open to physical disease and such things. So, in the same way, the mental activity of the thoughts running you, uncontrolled thought processes. You look and introspect within yourself and see, telling you what to do, or if you can in an instant say, that's enough. I've had enough restlessness. I've had enough worry. Stop. That's the end of it. Can you do that?